It is wonderful to be here with you and to move together. Um, we have a lot to get through today, so let's get started. Let's come onto our backs, and you can either have just something for under your head, or if you're still working a lot on rib thrusts, where your ribs tend to lift up in front of the bones of your pelvis, then you might want something underneath your shoulder blades to get your shoulder blades a little higher, and something a little bit higher underneath your head. And you'll notice as we go through these classes, I go back and forth between those two because I'm definitely still working on rib thrusts sometimes. So once you come down onto your back, have your props nearby, your towels, your blocks, your strap, or whatever you use as those props. And then let's go ahead and get right into extending the left leg long as you gently bring the right knee in. And you're trying to bring the right knee in without tucking the pelvis under. So the tailbone tilts down to the floor and you're just moving from the thigh bone, which is often challenging at first because the hip is often tight and the spine moves a little bit easier. So try to, if you need to, move less, but move more from the hip. And then let's extend that right leg and bring the left knee in. And one way you know that you're moving from the spine more than the hip is if the back of your right thigh comes up at all. So keep tilting your pelvis so the back of the right thigh comes down as you draw the left knee in any amount. And it might only come in so far that you can't reach it with your hand. That's okay. You have to start where you are. And then just start becoming present with your body, feeling your breath. And let's switch legs again. Extend the left leg long, bring the right knee in, tilting the tailbone away from you as the thigh bone comes in. And then let's point and flex the ankle. Point and flex. Take your time. Point and flex. Point and flex. And now with your ankle flex, how about twisting your ankle like you're gently pushing your inner arch away from you and then pushing the outer edge of the foot. So gently the ankle twists side to side. And then let's switch legs. Extend that right leg long, bring the left knee in, tilting the tailbone away from you as the thigh bone comes towards you, and nice and slowly point and flex. We often fly through these smaller motions, like we go really quickly, but these motions are so important to how the rest of your body moves, and hopefully I can demonstrate that at one point today. Okay, next time you flex, take your time, gently twist your ankle like you're twisting the outer edge of your foot away from you, and then you're twisting the inner edge of the foot. Go slow. You want to feel most of the movement in your foot and in your lower leg. Some of it, of course, is going to pull across your ankle. But if you're feeling a lot of sensation in your ankle, do a little bit less range of motion. All right, and then you can put that left foot down, grab your strap or whatever you use for a strap, wrap it around the ball of your right foot right below your toes, and then extend your left leg long. And we're going to start by really letting the strap be long, pulling back so we keep our ankle flexed, noticing if our ankle twists one direction or the other, untwisting, and we're going to lower the leg, keeping it nice and straight. So keep in mind that as soon as, if you had two straight legs on the floor, as soon as you lift one leg, you're already stretching your hamstring. And eventually you want to be so in tune with your body that you feel that. You feel that, oh, as soon as my leg comes up when it's really straight, I'm already pulling on the hamstring. And then you're slowly going to pull your leg up, but only so far that you don't feel the back of the left thigh come up or the right knee bend. And then slowly go back down. Try to keep your ankle, knee, and outer right hip in one line. So it's common as that you go up and down, your leg will start to veer in towards the center of the body. And let's do that 2 more times. And of course, how low you go is going to depend on how much you can let your strap lengthen. That's about my limit right now with this strap. And slowly pull up. And find that spot where you don't feel like your waist is flattening on the floor, where the back of the thigh stays grounded, the opposite thigh, and lower down. And this will be our last one like this. And then find a place you feel very comfortable with your legs staying straight. And now you're going to point and hold for a moment. And then flex by pulling back on the strap and hold for a moment. Feel the length through the back of the leg. Pull down on your right strap a little bit. It pulls the outer edge of your right foot down a little bit and hold there. So the inner edge of your foot is going up. And then switch. Pull down on the inner edge of your foot a little bit and the outer edge of your foot goes up and hold there. And maybe you can even feel how the position of the angles of the ankle changes how the muscle functions all the way up to the hip. And then bring your ankle back to center and let's switch legs. So put your strap around the ball of your left foot right below your toes. Extend your right leg long. Actually, let's do something between sides to give our hands a rest. So put the strap down for a moment. Bring the soles of your feet together, your knees open out to the sides. I'm going to take a couple towels since we're going to be here for a few moments, and I'm going to put towels underneath my thighs. You could put towels underneath your knees. You could stack some blocks just so I still feel a stretch, but it's giving me something to release into instead of just hanging in gravity today. And then from here, with my thighs open out to the sides, bring your arms up into the air, turn your palms to face behind you, tap your pinky fingers together, and then keep this rotation so that when you open your arms, it's just your thumbs that touch down. You can put a little bend in your elbows. Let's do that a few more times. Pinky fingers together and thumbs tap down. Ribs, front ribs stay relaxed down. Pinky fingers together and thumbs tap down. Pinky fingers together and thumbs tap down. Now you can either keep your thumbs on the floor or let them hover over the floor, but keep this rotation of the arm bones with the elbows pointing forward and slowly go up and down. And when you keep this rotation, it might be a really small motion, especially when you don't let your ribs lift up. So you're just drawing a small snow angel by your sides, feeling yourself reach out from the upper back and the chest muscles. And then on this path, no matter how large it is, so your arms go a little bit high and a little bit low, you're not trying to bring your arms all the way down by your sides. We're going to stop 4 times. So we'll start at a little bit higher. And from here, rotate your arm bones one direction, rotate your arm bones the other direction. Lower your arms just a little bit. Rotate and rotate. Lower your arms a little bit more. And rotate, and your arms a little bit lower, rotate, and rotate. And if you get some cracking and popping like I just did, then go a little bit slower in that area. But we're going to do these little rotations as we move our arms up and down. So after every rotation, you're going a little bit higher. And then you start going a little bit lower. And just go at your own pace, and that way you can pay attention to your body and what's going on in your shoulders. Feel your arm bones rotate. And next time your palms turn behind you with your thumbs down, just go up and down a few more times here. Open through the palms of the hands, stretch your fingers nice and long. All right, and then let's do that second leg. So lift your knees up, wrap the strap around the ball of your left foot, extend your right leg long. Start by lowering that foot as much as you can, as much as your strap allows. If it will go down to where you're just like a couple inches off the floor, do that. Let your leg be all the way straight. And then nice and slowly pull up on the leg, keeping the knee, the ankle, and the hip in line. And stop if your knee starts to bend or your waist starts to flatten, or the back of your thigh starts to lift up. And slowly go back down. Watch the twist of your ankle. Try to relax as much as you can around your thigh muscles. And we'll do one more like this. All right, next time your leg is up in the air, point through the foot. So you do have to hold on to get a good grip on the strap so it doesn't fall off your foot. And then pull back on the foot, gently flexing the ankle. Lengthen through the leg, the inner thigh, the outer thigh, the back of the thigh, the front of the thigh. And then pull down a little bit on the inner edge of your foot so the outer edge of your foot goes up, and hold there. And then switch, pull down a little bit on the outer edge of your foot and the inner edge of your foot goes up, and hold there. And then bring your ankle back to center. Take a moment and release and stretch out through your fingers. And now we're going to bring our right ankle in front of our left ankle and walk our feet as far apart from each other as we can as we let the knees drop open. And think less of crossing your legs in close and more of how far can you walk your ankles across. And then you feel free to stack a little bit of towels or blocks underneath the tops of your thighs if that feels nice for support. And then from here, we're going to grab one of our blocks or something you can hold on to. It can really be anything. If it's something you can put your hands on and not use your fingers, do that. If it's something you have to hold on with your palms face up, like if you're holding onto an extra rolled up mat. And then from here, hug your elbows in. Think ribs staying relaxed down as you take this block overhead any amount and slowly come up. And you're watching two things. You're watching your ribs, trying not to let them lift up, and you're trying to keep your elbows in. And so if whatever you're holding onto is so narrow that it really doesn't allow you to keep your elbows in at all, maybe try to find something around your house that you could use for these motions that that's a little bit wider than a block. Breathing here. All right, next time you're overhead, hold, squeezing the block between your palms or holding onto whatever you're holding onto. Lift your knees up, switch the crossing of your legs, walk your feet as far apart from each other as you can so you're crossing higher and higher and higher closer to your knees. Let your thighs drop open, and then we'll continue. Block comes up and goes overhead. Doing a couple more like this. And then from there, release the block. You can lift the feet up, uncross the ankles, and place the feet flat. All right. From here, lift your feet up into the air, open your arms out by your side, palms face up with your knees and ankles hip distance apart, and you're gonna roll over onto your right hip and come back nice and slowly and roll over onto your left hip and come back nice and slowly. Remember, it's the slow return that really helps our waist muscles work. Coming back nice and slowly, roll over and come back slowly. And let's do that a few more times, side to side. Okay, now your option is to stay like this, or with your right knee bent, extend your left leg long, and then roll halfway over and come up nice and slowly. Keep extending the left leg long, roll halfway over to the left, and come up nice and slowly. Keep extending through the left leg. If you're choosing to, roll over to the right, and come up nice and slow. Roll over to the left, come up nice and slow. If you're extending one leg, switch. Bend the left knee, extend the right leg up into the air, and roll over to the right. And return nice and slow. And roll over to the left. Come back nice and slow, and do that one more time each side. Breathing. And then next time you come up, put both feet down. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. Flex your ankle. Lift your left foot into the air. Flex your ankle. Then tap your right heel down and lift up. Only trying to go so far that you don't tuck your pelvis under. So keep the tailbone down. Tap. Thighs come in. Tap. Thighs come in. Tap. Thighs come in. Hold, rock a little bit to your right hip, a little to your left hip, a little to the right, a little to the left, a little to the right, a little to the left, a little to the right, a little to the left. Now you're going to keep on going over to the right until maybe the sole of the foot comes down, and slowly roll back up, keeping the shape of the legs. Roll over to the right and slowly come back up. And roll over to the right. Maybe the sole of the left foot comes down. And roll back up. And one more time. Roll over to the right and come back up. And let's switch legs. Uncross, feet down, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Cross your left ankle over your right, keep that ankle flexed, lift your left ankle, keep that ankle flexed, and then it's just your heel that touches down and your thighs coming in without your waist flattening. Heel touches down, thighs coming in. Two more like that. Heel touches down, thigh comes in, heel touches down, thigh comes in. Now keep the foot lifted, and now it's just a little rock, a little to the right hip, a little to the left hip. You're just taking the weight off of one hip and putting it on the other. Over to the right hip, over to the left hip. Breathing to the right and to the left, to the right and to the left. Now from center, you're going to roll over to the left. Maybe the sole of the foot comes down. And slowly come back up. And again, roll over. Doesn't matter how far you go. And slowly come up. The shape of your leg stays the same. And roll over. And come up. And one more like that. Roll over and come up. And then uncross your ankle, put your foot down. Now you're going to extend both of your legs, have a block or whatever you're using to do those log raises. That's what they're called overhead. Extend both legs, walk your legs over to the right, and then from there you can cross your left ankle over your right ankle. Reach your arms into the air, hold on to that block or whatever you're using between the palms of your hands. Whatever you're using, even if you can't hold on to it like this, ribs relax down, elbows in. And then this time when we take our arms overhead, we're taking them over to the right a little bit. And then bringing them back up centered. And taking them over to the right a little bit. And bringing them back up center. And over to the right. And back up, over to the right, left side of the body stays down, and back up. Hold, uncross your ankles, walk your legs to center, walk your legs over to the left any amount, either ankles together or maybe right ankle crosses over the left. You're holding onto the block, elbows in, front ribs relax down, and then as you take the block overhead, you're going over to the left and coming back up and over to the left and back up, over to the left and back up and over to the left and back up. And then from there, uncross your ankles, walk your legs back to center, and then you can bend your knees and place the block down, and you can either rock yourself up or roll over to one side and gently press yourself up and come around onto your belly. All right, from your belly, I would recommend you start by laying all the way down. I'm going to keep myself a little bit lifted for mic purposes, but please go ahead and make a pillow for your head, lay your forehead down, or you can turn your head to one side and turn your head to the other side. It will be more effective if you're laying all the way down. From here, with your legs hip distance apart, tuck your left toes under as much as you can and push back through the heel. So I think that this movement is an excellent way to see how the foot affects the lower leg, the thigh, the hip, the buttocks. Because if when you're on your stomach and you can't tuck your toes under, like you don't have the mobility in your foot to really get your toes tucked under, or you can barely tuck them under, or that you can't get to the ball of your foot, you're limiting the stretch you feel here. So reach back through that leg. You might really feel it in your foot, but until you can get a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for, where you can really push down and activate your foot here, so you're not only tucking it under, but you're activating it, it's going to be harder to feel the length all the way up the leg. Not only the back of the hip, but the front of the hip as well. From here, with those toes tucking under, slowly rotate your thigh bone side to side. And so if your foot doesn't have the mobility to really tuck under and stay stable, and your toes keep popping up off the floor here, you're not going to be feeling this as much all the way up your hip. And then let's switch. Tuck your right toes under, try to wiggle them and tuck them under as much as you can and push back through the heel. Now, of course, if your foot won't tuck under, there's nothing you can do about it. You just, at this point, for getting deeper into this stretch, there's nothing you can do about it. But the first thing is being aware. Oh, if I'm missing range of motion in my foot all the time, all day long, even in movements that it's not so obvious like this one, it's impacting the ability for my entire leg and hip to work as optimally as they could. The only thing you can do then is work more on exercising your foot. And if you're not stretching back through that leg, rotate from side to side here. Make it really small so it's like you're controlling, somewhat under control of the foot. The toes are not just flipping up if possible. And so then all you can do is roll a ball under your foot more often and stretch the top of your foot more often and get your foot more mobile. And as your foot becomes more mobile, you'll be able to get more of a tuck in all of your positions, and then the nerves will start connecting all the way up your leg to your hip, and you'll start to use more of the entire chain all the time. Let's switch. And so that being said, by the end of this month, there will be a class in the Classes Plus section that has a ball rolling section. So I highly recommend doing that and getting your feet moving more. Okay, with your toes tucked under, again, you're laying down here. Reach back through your leg and do micro lifts, trying to keep your leg as straight as possible. Breathing, very small lifts, because we don't want to work the lower back muscles here. So the smaller the lift and the straighter the leg, the more you keep the work in the buttocks and the back of the thigh. Switch, put the top of that foot down, tuck your opposite toes under. First thing is stretch back through the leg and then do those micro little lifts. Which, by the way, if you've not done these much before, they can be very, very challenging until your body gets used to it, until the front of the hip starts to open a little bit. Keep reaching straight. The knee will really want to bend when there's tension in the hip. micro lifts. And not only will you start to feel over time the back of the leg and the buttocks engage, but you'll also feel how the front of the hip can open a little bit more here. This is really a great practice to improve walking. Okay, then release that foot. Now everyone come up onto your forearms, and pressing down through your forearms, curl your ribs up, your armpits up, your breastbone up, and let them sink down with gravity. And let's do that a few more times. And we're going to work quite a bit on our forearms today, so we want to really feel this work. And drop down. Press down gently through the forearms. Feel the lift of the armpits, the breastbone, the rib cage. And lower down, and one more like that. Lift up, breathing. And then slide your hands back. Find that same curling up action of your lower ribs. Hug your elbows in as you push yourself onto all fours. Put your knees right underneath your hips, your wrists under your shoulders, or back them up a little bit if that's okay with them. Relax your belly so your tailbone's in the air. And then we'll do some rhomboid push-ups here where you let your spine go down with gravity, and then you're lifting up through the breastbone, through the armpits, through the rib cage, but without the lower body participating. So we're not tucking and untucking the pelvis. The pelvis stays relaxed up in the air, and it's the rib cage going up and down to the best of our ability. Keep wrapping your elbow pits forward if you've been working on these for a while. Breathing. Okay, from here you're going to tuck your toes under. So this is great. We're getting the bottom of the foot stretch. And we're just going to start by standing on our knees, which is a different stretch than sitting back on your heels. One thing you can do more often if you find that, yeah, my feet really don't tuck under very much, is you can get your knees higher. And we're going to work on this a little later, but you can always put your knees up on a towel or up on an extra rolled up mat. And the higher your knees are, you can often get your foot tucked under a little bit more. So just keep that in mind, something great to practice. And then from your knees with your toes tucked under, bring the backs of your hands together as much as you can. Try to touch all of your fingers. If maybe your thumbs will come together, don't force. Couple things to notice here. My hands, due to the tension in my shoulders and my neck, my fingers always veer to one side. So I'm trying to straighten my fingers out so they point straight up and down to the best of my ability. And then if the back of your hands don't come together, lift a little higher. But if they do come together, see how far you can drop your hands down without letting them come apart. And then keep working on the fingers going straight up and down. How about a little bit of shift side to side here with your hands? And be patient with yourself. Sometimes I wish that when I first, often I wish that when I first started learning about human biomechanics and seeing my body do all of these things, that I had videos of all of that, because I feel like it would be such a great teaching lesson for me to show you how little my hands came together and how much tension I had in my shoulders and my neck, which I still have, but it's come out a lot. And if I could show you those things and you could see where I started and how patient I was because I really wanted to get it right, I think that would be great, rather than me just bringing the backs of my hands together and dropping my wrists low and you thinking, wow, and trying to force your hands to go into that position. Don't do that. This was years and years and years of me doing this consistently, and I'm sure some people can even get their hands together in better ranges of motion. So be patient with yourself. Just be persistent. If this is one that's really tight for you, then come into it more often. All right, from here, how about pulling your elbows out to the side a little bit, letting them drop in. Elbows out a little, drop in. Elbows out a little, drop in. Elbows out a little, drop in. Good, release the back of your hands. Okay, speaking of, I need to do that one more often. I could feel that. Spread your thumbs out. Knees under your hips, hands back a little bit, hands a little wider than your knees. Find the top of a rhomboid push-up where your belly still relaxed, tailbone in the air. And then you're going to push down through your right leg and hug your hip in as you extend your left leg behind you. Now, what we're trying to do is, what happens often, and this is going to take place later in class is that this hip slightly rolls up the leg we lift. So how do we get the hip to go down? One way is to turn it down, but the other way is to pull our opposite leg, our right hip, away from our waist and hug it in. So if our standing leg, hip, is going up towards our waist, if we can pull it back and hug it in, and I'll show you on the other side, it will start to square the leg that we extend it back behind us. So let me show you that on the other side, doing it with me. Elbow pits wrap forward, top of a rhomboid push-up, push down through your left foot, hug your hip in, extend your right leg. So as that hip rolls up, it's often because this outside hip is coming up by the waist. So you want to pull your hip away from your waist, and then naturally as you pull the hip away from your waist, this leg in the air starts to turn down and your hips start to square towards the floor, and you can extend that leg long. So it's not just what's going on with this hip, it's what's going on with the standing leg hip that puts this hip into a place that uses the muscles around the hips with more balance. So keep that in mind. Put your knee down. Let's tuck our toes under here. Now you have options. You can stay forward and put your fingers down and pull your wrists back, spread your thumbs out to the side, or you can sit back on your heels and do it here with your hands by your side if they'll reach. Or you can even lean back a little bit and put your fingertips down and pull your palms back away from the floor, your palms facing forward, breathing here. Ooh, front of my body's shaking a little bit. All right, and come back up. Come on down to your forearms. You can keep your toes tucked under, or you can put the tops of your foot down and press equally from your forearms, tailbone high. Let's do some rhomboid push-ups here. So smaller motion, smaller lever, but great way to get good at the action. Spine drops down, spine lifts up, ribs lift up without the pelvis tucking under. Feel the armpits, relax the lower belly, press the feet down equally. All right, next time your ribs lift up, reach your right hand over in front of your left hand and pull your hips back any amount. Breathing. Bring that right elbow back under your right shoulder. Think belly relaxes, tailbone high, but ribs up slightly. Lift your left hand across in front and pull back gently through your hips. Breathing. All right, bring that elbow back. Reach your right hand back in front of your left hand. How about this time, if it's okay with your shoulder, flip your palm up. And hips pull back any amount. And switch. Right elbow under right shoulder, left hand reaches across. If it's okay on your shoulder, flip your palm up. Try to touch as many fingers to the floor as you can. Notice what happened to your feet. Stabilize the center of the foot. Ribs lift up a little bit if they tend to sink to the floor. Good, and then slide that arm out. Okay, from here, walk yourself up. You may want to, we're gonna do a little bit of rib breathing. So if you have your strap, easy access to your strap, wrap your strap around the center of your rib cage, a little bit below your armpits, and tie it nice and snug. And we might do this later if you're not gonna do this now. Stand up on your knees and step your right foot forward into a lunge. From this low lunge, pubic bone leads the way, ribs relax down, drop your chin down to your chest. Now while we're here, steady on the feet, I'm going to count rib breaths to a count of 4, both inhale and exhale. Throughout class, we're going to do a bunch of these. If that count doesn't work for you, please ignore it. You don't have to count, just take a full inhale and take a full exhale. So keep dropping your chin down to your chest. Inhale, 2, 3, into the strap. Exhale, 2, 3, away from the strap. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Relax the forehead and the jaw. Slowly bring your head up. switch leg. Step your right foot back, step your left foot forward. Pubic bone leads the way, ribs relax down. From here, put one hand on your breastbone. Feel that it's really vertical. Feel your front ribs drop down so they're flush with the front of your pelvis. And then just slide your ears back over your shoulders and slightly tilt your chin down. So you're ramping your head here. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Chin goes down, head ramps back without lifting the chest. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And then from there, tuck your back toes under and push down to step up. Okay, outer edges of the feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. We'll push down through the right hip and hug it in. The left foot comes up. We'll tuck the top of the foot behind us and we'll roll our ankle a little to one side, go slow, a little to the other side. Bring it back to center, push down through the standing leg hip, float up so you're balancing on one leg. And if needs be, you can always tap your toes down in between. Same leg, left leg reaches back, top of the foot stretch. Rotate the ankle slowly and carefully to one side, slowly and carefully to the other side. Bring the foot back to center. Keep pushing down, hugging the standing leg hip in. Balance with a float. Weight back in the heels. Tuck the top of the foot behind you. Rotate a little to one side, a little to the other side. Back to center. Push down. Bring the foot forward. And last one. Tuck the top of the foot behind you. Rotate a little to one side, a little to the other side. Back to center, push down through the standing leg hip, float the foot up, put the foot down. Outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. This makes a difference for how you're engaging all the muscles around your thighs and your hips. Push down through the left hip, hug it in. The right ankle flexes up. Tuck the top of the foot behind you. Rotate a little to one side, a little to the other. Bring it back to center. Make sure you're engaging that standing leg so you can float your foot back. Reach your foot back behind you. Ankle goes a little to one side, a little to the other side. Back to center. Standing leg, thigh bone backs up as you engage. Float that foot back up. 2 more like that. Reach the foot back behind you. Rotate a little to one side, a little to the other side. Come back to center, push down through the standing leg hip, float that foot forward, and tuck the top of the foot behind you. Rotate a little bit to one side, a little bit to the other side. Come back to center, push down, step the foot forward, grab whatever you're going to use for a calf stretch. I'm going to use this dome. You can use a rolled up towel. You can use a thin block. Put it in front of your right foot. Put the ball of your foot up, your heel down. You want the right foot to stay steady, the heel to stay steady on the ground. And then from here, maybe this will be best from a side view. From here, you've got your left foot, and that determines how you feel the calf stretch. And at first, you might start back here, and that's okay. And then over time, you're trying to get your feet more even. Or you might start with your feet closer to even, and over time, you're trying to, without clenching anything or leaning your body forward, get that foot to step forward with ease. But you saw how smooth that was, where again, if I had a video of when I first started, if I tried to step my foot forward, I can't even show you what I would have done. My muscles clenched up, I would lean forward. I know this for sure. I remember it happening clearly. So you want it to be smooth, which will happen over time the more often you practice, the more you improve the range of motion in your muscles, which if you improve the range of motion in your muscles while you're in alignment, you will naturally get stronger too, which is just amazing. So pushing down, you're balancing a little bit on the leg that's up on the calf stretch. You're just going to step your foot forward a little, step your foot back. And it doesn't matter to me if it's a big step or an inch. Just a little bit forward where you feel comfortable, and step back a little. And step forward a little, step back a little. And then over time you can see, can I go a little bit more forward and make it smooth without clenching anything? All right, let's switch feet. Put the ball of the foot up, the heel down, outer edges of feet straight. So you do have to do a little pelvic listing on this leg that you're calf stretching because it has to balance while the leg swings through, which is the same thing we want happening when we're walking. So we're pushing down, the foot steps forward a little, steps back a little, steps forward and back, steps forward and back, steps forward and back. And so actually if I step my foot way far forward, it might give you a good example. So if I try to step my foot more forward than I can, my heel lifted up, my muscles are tensing, I'm leaning forward. So this is what used to happen to me when I just used to step my foot a little bit forward. So keep that in mind and slowly let your body adapt. Okay, from the top of our mat, outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. We will sit back into a chair pose and press up. And sitting back into a chair pose and pressing up. Really sit the hips back and press up. Sit the hips back and press up. Now lift off your heels nice and slowly, lower down. Try to press equally through the balls of the feet. It's very common that as people lift up and down, their ankles do this. They turn out to the side. Try not to let them. Try to lift straight up and straight down, and try to pitch yourself forward less. So less going forward this way, more straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down. Sit back into that chair pose. Bring your hands to the floor. Keep your right foot forward. Step your left leg back. Grab a block or a towel and put it underneath your back knee. That's going to do a couple things. It's going to change the geometry of our lunge. When you change the geometry, you work slightly different muscles, and it's also going to give us a little more space to work on our back foot. Come on up here. From this lunge, pelvis neutral, ribs relax down. Interlace right pinky finger on the bottom, press away. We're just going to kind of hold this hand stretch, so if your arms need a break, just put your hands down on your knee. Back toe, top of the foot, tuck under. You might discover right away, ooh, this doesn't feel good for my knee. Please don't do it. Even if it just doesn't feel a little good, pat it so it feels perfectly okay. Top of the foot, tuck the toes under. Top of the foot, tuck the toes under. Top of the foot, tuck the toes under. Keep the tucking under, try to wiggle them under a little more, and it's a very small rotation, side to side. And you can see how if your toes keep flipping out, it doesn't give you leverage. Leverage was the word. It doesn't give you as much leverage to push down through your foot, and so therefore it's going to be harder to feel all the muscles, and it's going to be harder to connect to all the muscles. Okay, put the top of the foot down, press equally through the top of the foot, and rotate from side to side across the top of the foot. And see if you can feel here, as you move your foot side to side, how it's impacting the stretch all the way up the hip. And see, I have this tendency to lean back. We often do that. Bring your torso forward, right under your hip. All right, release your fingers, bring your hands down to the mat. You can take that block out and then walk yourself halfway around to the left, parallel your feet, back your weight up into your heels, come on up to stand. Now, if you don't have a strap on you, if you're very familiar where rib breathing is, then you might want to put a strap on you, or you can just focus in that area, because we're going to do a bunch of different rib breaths here, right in that area. Breathing less into our bellies, less into our chest, and more into the center, in particular, the back and the sides of our rib cage. Open your arms out, cactus arms, extend and bend. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Extend, rib breath. 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. bend your elbows, sit back into a squat. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Now keep your elbows bent, extend. As you bend, curl your arms in. Extend open, cactus arms without the ribs lifting up. Bend and curl it, sit back. Open, curl in and sit back. Open, curl in and sit back, hold. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Open your arms, straighten up, rotate the forearms, turn down and up, turn down and up, turn down and up, turn down. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Rotate up, bring your hands in, turn your palms to face you, elbows as close as they'll come. Sit down here, little lifts, up and down, up and down without lifting the ribs, up and down, up, hold. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Open your arms, stretch your legs and your arms out. Now from here, reach your arms by your side. You're going to rotate so your palms face behind you, and you're going to wrap your right arm and extend, wrap your left arm and extend. But you're going to do this from a half forward fold. So rotate your pelvis, hold, arms out to the sides, palms face the ceiling. Wrap your right arm, extend, wrap your left arm, extend. Right arm, extend, weight back in the heels, left arm, extend. Right arm, extend, left arm, extend, rotate so your palms face down, bring them down to the floor, walk back around to your right foot at the top of the mat, lower your knee down, come up into your low lunge. You can always pad your back knee. From your low lunge, bring your hands to your shoulders, pubic bone forward, ribs drop down. How high can you lift your elbows without your ribs coming up? Ribs stay sinking down. The nice thing about the strap too is it kind of lets you know right where you want to drop your ribs down and back. And then from here, open nice and slow and curl in. 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 And then extend your arms up. From there, let your hands come down, slide your right knee back to meet your left knee, come on down onto your forearms, slide your legs back behind you, you're back into a Sphinx pose on your elbows, and then from here, you're gonna push down through your forearms, lift your ribs up, then lift your hips up. So it's like you're in a forearm plank and lower down slowly, elbows back under the shoulders. First, the ribs lift up, then lift your hips up so you're just on your knees and lower down slowly. Ribs lift up, hips lift up, lower down slowly. Ribs lift up, hips lift up, stay here or tuck your toes under and straighten your legs back, forearm plank, breathing. Lower your knees down slowly, scoot them forward a little bit so they're right underneath your hips. And then from here, with your knees under your hips, extend your right leg straight out to the side. You can be on the inner edge of your foot. If you need to come up higher on your forearms, put a block under your forearms and rest your forearms down. And then with your right leg straight, reach your right arm behind your left elbow. You can rest your forehead down if it reaches. Never forcing anything, breathing. All right, bring that elbow out, slowly bend the knees, slide it in, knees hip distance, lean over to your right, extend your left leg straight out, knee, hip, and ankle in line, From there, back your hips up, reach your left arm behind your right elbow, let your head rest down and relax. Breathing here. Okay, slide your arm out, slide your leg in, you're on all fours, come on down to your forearms, your knees are bent, tuck your toes under, and then you're lifting your hips up and back like a down dog, which is a dolphin pose. Push your hips back, press down through your forearms, think armpits lift up, ribs lift up, and then let's put a bend in our knees so we can get our tailbone nice and high and try to straighten your legs back any amount. Let's do that a few more times. Bend in the knees, feet straight, knees hip distance apart. Straighten your thigh bones back. Pull your hips back. Bend into the knees. Pull your thigh bones back. Bend into the knees. Pull your thigh bones back. And then lower your knees down. Stand up on your knees. Step your right foot forward into a lunge. Pubic bone, ribs relax down. Pelvis and rib cage in neutral. Turn your belly button to your right. And take a few breaths here. Unwind, tuck your back toes under, push down to step up. Outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. And we rotate from the pelvis, backing our weight up into our heels and slowly come up. Rotate from the pelvis, back your weight up into your heels. Slowly come up. Rotate back and come up. Rotate back, hold. Are your ribs pushing to the floor? If they are, lift them up. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Sit back into a chair pose. Fold over your legs. Keep your left foot forward. Step your right foot back. This is where we're going to work with our knee up on towels, a stack of towels or a block. Come on up. Pubic bone right underneath the ASIS bones. Ribs relax down so it's flush with those bones. Interlace your left pinky finger on the bottom. Press away. Gently spread the thumbs away from each other. And then just here, notice you tend to lean back. That's very common. Bring your shoulders forward over your hip. It will often feel like you're leaning forward, though you're not. Top of the foot down. Tuck the toes under. Adjust the knee if needed. Top of the foot down. Tuck under. Top of the foot down. Tuck under. Top of the foot down. Tuck under, a little rotation side to side, very small, breathing. There goes my torso leaning back again. Instead, I have to back my head up. Top of the foot down, centered, and then from there, rotate. Feel the entire top of the foot. All right, bring your hands down inside your left foot. Lift that knee, slide the block out of the way. Walk halfway around to the right. Parallel your feet. Put your weight back in your heels. Arms out to the sides. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Sit down into a squat and extend up. Sit down into a squat, extend up. Sit down, extend up, sit down, extend up. Sit down, slide your hips back, curl in, open, curl in, open, curl in, open, curl in, open. Straighten your legs, weight back in the heels, rotate down and up, down and up, down and up. Bring your elbows in, turn your palms to face you, sit back into a squat, little lifts, up, inner thighs open, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Open your arms out, extend your arms and legs, arms out to your side, flip your palms behind you, rotate from the pelvis into a half forward fold, wrap your left arm behind your back, hold, wrap your right arm behind your back. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Slowly bring your torso up. Reach your arms out to the side, palms face behind you. Rotate forward from the pelvis. Wrap your right arm behind. Wrap your left arm behind. Hold. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Weight back in the heels. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And then slowly bring your torso up, reach your arms out, rotate your palms up. Inhale, arms go up. Exhale, rotate forward, walk back around to your left foot at the front of the mat. Lower your knee down. Stand up in your low lunge. Bring your arms forward, hands to the shoulder. How high can you lift the elbows without pushing your ribs up? Open and curl in. Open and curl in. Go nice and slow. Open and curl in. Open and curl in. Now open, hold. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Curl in. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And then extend your arms, bring your hands down, slide your front knee back to meet your back knee. Come on down to your hands, come on down to your forearms. Knees hip distance apart, elbows a little wider than the knees. Walk your elbows back so they're right underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back. Breathing, dolphin pose. Push your thigh bones back. Lift your heels up. Slowly lower them down. Watch for twisting ankles. Heels up, slowly down. Heels up, slowly down. Heels up, slowly down. Slide your shoulders over your elbows. Push back. Slide forward. Push back. Breathing. Slide forward. Push back. Slide forward. Press back. Slowly lower your knees down. Walk your knees nice and wide so you're like frog pose. Knees out to the side, feet out to the side. Bring your forearms down to the floor. Breathing here. And then you can always put a stack of towels or pillows or blankets underneath your forearms. Thighs nice and wide. Reach your right hand over and in front of your left arm. Breathing. Maybe your head can rest down. Maybe you want to flip your palm up. Relaxing around your hips, your inner thigh muscles. Slide that elbow back under the shoulder. Adjust your legs a little farther apart, a little closer. Reach your left arm over and in front. Rest your head down. Feel free to move your hips a little forward and back, a little side to side, very small. Just kind of find where you're centered. Maybe flip your left hand over. Good. Slide that arm back. Walk yourself up onto your hands. Walk your knees in nice and slowly. For just a moment, step your left foot forward into a low lunge. Ankles in line with the knees. Pelvis and rib cage in neutral. Rotate your belly to the left. Take a couple breaths here. Relax your shoulders. Then unwind your waist, bring your front leg back to meet your back leg. Feel free to put something underneath your head. Grab your strap so you have it nearby. Oop, it's tied around you. Untie it. Wrap your ball of your foot up with the strap. Leg extends long, left leg. Find that neutral, non-twisted ankle. And then from here, we'll do 2 different heights. So start a little low. Adjust the strap so it's below your toes. Try to spread all your toes away from each other. Try to point your big toe forward, pull your little toes back. And switch, little toes forward, big toe back. Okay, pull on the strap. Lift your leg higher without your pelvis tucking under. Spread all your toes away from each other. Push your big toe up, little toes down. Little toes up, big toe down. And then switch sides. Extend your right leg long, neutral ankle, lower that leg a bit. Spread all your toes out. Big toe forward, little toes back. Little toes forward, big toe back. Relax, slowly pull back on the strap, lift the leg higher. Without tucking the pelvis under, without the waist flattening, spread all those toes out. Big toe forward, little toes back. Little toes forward, big toe back. And then relax those toes and release your strap. And stretch your fingers out overhead, spread your toes out or wiggle your toes around, wiggle your fingers around. And then from there, bring your arms down, bend your knees, happy baby pose. Hold onto your thighs or hold onto your shins. Do try to turn the outer edges of your feet straight, maybe reaching up for your feet. Feel your arm bones draw down into the socket over trying to tilt your pelvis more towards the floor to untuck it a little bit less. A little bit more, meaning. You can rock side to side here. Take a few breaths. Enjoy your breath. And then bring your feet in. Bring your knees in nice and slowly. Turn your neck to the right. Chin down as you slowly turn your head over to the left. Bring your head back to center for a short but sweet Savasana. Stretch your legs out. Flip your palms out by your side. Let your gaze soften or your eyes gently close. Become very present with your body. Become very present with your breath. Stay present with your body, with your breath. There was a man who had 4 sons. He wanted his sons to learn not to judge things too quickly. So he sent them each on a quest in turn to go and look at a pear tree that was a great distance away. The first son went in the winter, the second in the spring, the third in the summer, and the youngest son in the fall. When they had all gone and come back, he called them together to describe what they had seen. The first son said that the tree was ugly, bent, and twisted. The second son said no, it was covered with green buds and full of promise. The third son disagreed. He said it was laden with blossoms that smelled so sweet and looked so beautiful. It was the most graceful thing he had ever seen. The last son disagreed with all of them. He said it was ripe and drooping with fruit, full of life and fulfillment. The man then explained to his sons that they were all right because they had each only seen but one season in the tree's life. He told them that you cannot judge a tree or a person by only one season, and that the essence of who they are comes from the whole life of experiences. If you give up when it's winter, you will miss the promise of your spring, the beauty of your summer, and the fulfillment of your fall. Don't let the pain of one season destroy the joy of all the rest. Don't judge life by one difficult season. Persevere throughout the difficult patches, and better times are sure to come sometime or later. If you're ready to start moving, feel free to move in any way that feels good for you. Of course, you're home if you just want to stay in Lion Savasana for another 5 minutes. I can't recommend that enough. When you're ready, roll over to your side. With a softness in your face, press yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Any way that feels nice for you to sit, bringing your hands together at heart center. In gratitude for this day, whatever season we are in. Namaste.